And that's what this book is for. It's really just to remember, like, what did you love right now at this age, at this year? Who were you fully? And that's what I want this book to get into, and this practice to get into. I like tangible media. I'm not sure if you guys saw that tweet I did the other day talking about how much stuff I've probably lost due to low storage, lost phones, bad backups and things like that, that we just don't have these pictures anymore. And we forget them. So we don't really miss them. But it's not until that you're reminded of something that you're like, oh shit, I really miss that. I love that thing. And that's what this book is for. It's really just to remember, like, what did you love right now at this age, at this year? Who were you fully? And that's what I want this book to get into, and this practice to get into. It's not just pictures, and we're going to learn about, that in the process, that it's not just pictures, that you're freezing yourself in time through this coffee table book, through this yearbook, and the different ways to inspire that for you all. Okay, let's go. So everybody, welcome to the Year in Review Physical Yearbook Guide. Just so we could kick off, here is the thing that started it all. Our family record for 2022. Recognition or not, I would have just kept doing this for the rest of my life, but I'm glad that you guys are all interested in it and maybe curious about doing this for the rest of your life too, or just this year, who knows? Whatever your commitment level, I'm glad that you're here. So my name is Keish. I will be hosting this workshop. This is Crystal. She will moderate the Q&A, and that's Jack. He's just here for cute points. So let's get into it. So today we're going to be talking about the picture process, which is such a huge part of making this book. Layout and guides, templates, concepts, content, inspiration, and then we'll have time for a Q&A. I also have a template and a guide, a step-by-step guide available for sale that I can link to. It was available in the email, but I can also send it back out. Just, it's optional. You can make your own guide, of course, but that's just like gives you a head start onto actually getting this made. So before we jump in, I want to emphasize, you don't have to have crazy design skills. You just have to think it's cool. I'm going to run that last sentence back. You just have to think it's cool. You can post about this online if you want, but essentially this is for your family. Like, this is for you and your people. So as long as you guys think it's cool, that's all that counts. Trying to make it too design heavy or outside of your actual skill set is gonna make this daunting. Having a year's full of pictures to go through is daunting enough that taking the stress or the pressure of like trying to design like somebody else or trying to make it look like something is gonna just like psych you out. So again, as long as you think it's cool, then it's cool. That's it. It's really that easy. And to make things cool doesn't really take a lot. Sometimes it's just a really cool font. You can go to defont.com or what defont. I don't know why font websites are like that, but yeah, what defont and defont.com are two of my favorite font sites. Color inclusion, like, I've added some greens, yellows, and reds here just to like make it pop a bit more. Backgrounds, and I'll provide a resource towards the end of this that has a place for you to download backgrounds and pictures, and then overlaying. So these are just like some simple ways to make it cool. But at the end of the day, whatever you decide is what makes it cool. First, we have the picture process. So everybody has one of these, I'm sure. This is a phone. So in here, I made an album in my camera roll that says 2023 favorites. And throughout the year, but really like after like a good weekend, after, if it's been like a month and I'm like, oh my God, I haven't done it, I'll go in and add pictures to that album. So this is such a big part of the process, because going back into your camera roll, I don't know if you know, but we take thousands of pictures in a weekend. And I don't know what we're taking pictures of, but I said it to say there's so much content to sift through that doing it in real time, doing it bit by bit really helps the process. And for something like this, like you're recording a year's worth of content. It is daunting. I'm not gonna like, downplay it. It is daunting. So doing things in real time, message for life, helps make this be more attainable, more digestible. So after if I've gone on a weekend away, I'll ask, I'll take time and do this, but also I ask my friends, because I don't know about you, but my phone is full of pictures of Crystal, and Crystal's phone is full of pictures of me. So trading with your friends, making sure you're getting folks, POVs and their pictures, from who you've been hanging out with is also really helpful to this. The next step is exports. So basically airdropping the pictures to the device that you're gonna make this book on. So I would airdrop my pictures to my laptop. So you go into your folder, you select all the pictures that you have, and then you export them out. Once you do that, remove all of those pictures from your album. So that way you don't have duplicates. And I'm gonna send out this presentation to everybody, so don't feel like you have to like take notes in real time. But export on a regular basis too. That allows you to kind of segment out the year. As you can see from my folder management, I didn't do the best at that. We started off strong and then I waited until last month. But Jack, I'm working. But export on a regular basis, but make sure to remove your pictures from your album once you do that export. Again, saves you from duplicates, because having duplicates is heartbreaking when you have 10,000 pictures to go through. And then folder management. So this is an option. I mean, all of this is optional, but this is an option for how you can kind of manage and go throughout the year. So if you're making a page in your book and you're like, oh, I want something from Easter, you can go to the April. When's Easter? March?
It depends, April,
March. And then you can go there and like get that content. So that's what the exports and folder management is good for, helping you navigate and find this stuff. Because sifting through a folder full of content, it does make it hard. And you get to a point where you're just like, okay, I'm going to do something else. Because this book right here probably took me 6 weeks of dedicated, like every day doing it. So doing it throughout the year, which I did for the 2023 book, makes it so much easier. We're already 100 pages in that book. And now, it's going to get sent to print soon. This one got sent to print in like June of last year. So that's it for the picture process. And again, if you have any questions, put them in the Q&A. So next we have the layout and the guides. So if you're using Keynote, when you open up the Keynote, it's going to come out landscape. So basically your board is going to be like this. You got to flip it to portrait. So you're going to go to document, and in document, you're going to go down to slide size and then custom slide. And then in that, the measurements are in points. So measurements, they can be in inches, they can be in pixels. In Keynote, it's in points. So the measurement that you want is 630 by 810. Now that comes out to 8.5 by 11, and includes a bleed. So your printer is going to need a bleed, and we can get to that after. But that is the dimensions that you're going to want in order to achieve a book of this size. So as we're talking, and if folks don't know what bleed is, so the bleed is basically where you see this actual size. The bleed is that white border around the page, and that's what your printer needs in order to make sure all the content makes it onto the page. And that's just the standard for sending off documents and things for print. So in my book, at the end of my document, I'll have this thing called actual size. So I'll go in, and this is a transparent box that I'll go into my pages and paste it over just to make sure I'm not losing any text, any headers, any pictures, or anything in that margin. Because things can get cut off and you don't realize that you're going into the bleed. So this is just really a guide to help you make sure that all your content stays within the printable area. The last thing I like to do for the layout is the view options. So is he okay? So while I'm doing the edits, I have it in the navigation mode. This allows me to see the whole outline on the left side. Now, if I want to rearrange my pages, I'll go into the light table. Now, this allows you to kind of reorganize your pages and then move things around. But when you're doing this, move them by 2, because a two is a spread. And in the next page, we'll get into how you can kind of lay out the spreads. But move them around in spreads, because obviously it's a book. This is a spread that you're gonna have. So to move them around like that just allows you to keep organized and keep track of your page counts, which is what these margins will also do. Hold up, Free Palestine, first of all. But these margins are going to help you really keep track of your spreads. So on the left-hand side and the right-hand side at the top, I have these little orange like markers, I guess we could say. In the template guide I have available, these are already built in and in there. So this allows you, like I said, so when you're in your navigation mode, you can only see one page at a time. So having these markers allows you to be like, okay, this is my left-hand side and this is my right-hand side. And it just really helps you keep track of spreads, keeps track of page count, and lay out what you want it to look like. Because when you're building these things, like this layout right here is a spread, and this is a themed spread. So this one was obviously about Palestine. When I went to the protest in October and I took a picture, and then I wanted to put this relevant quote with it. But it doesn't always have to be that. So when you're filling out your templates, you can randomize it. Just because one of these pictures is a picture of Christmas doesn't mean that whole page has to be. This is your book, and you can make it be free. But having templates helps you fill out the pages, helps you add in a bunch of content, and really helps you organize your thoughts. So like this page is not a template. This is just a picture with a quote. But having these templates, like this page is what, 3, 6, 9, you get 12 pictures in one page. Because if you don't do it this way, you're going to end up with a 1,000-page book, and that will just get a bit too pricey. So having these templates allows you to just organize a bit more, and you can make these on your own. The template guide that I have has 9 different pages of templates, and you copy and paste them. You use them throughout. This one right here with the colors around the boxes, in my 2024 book, I think I used that one like 6 times, and I just changed the color of the boxes for every time I used it. So it's really just taking the work out of this. This is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be for your family. And to take the work out of it allows you to actually accomplish it. And I'm all about I'm not about shortcuts, but I am about like what makes sense. How can you work smart and just like kind of get it done? So that's what templates helps with. Um, and then also in Keynote, so for these templates, you basically just use the shape tool and you'll pull out a box, and then you get your picture from your desktop, you drag it over. And then once that shape highlights blue around, that's when it's time to drop your picture, and then you can size it from there. Just for folks, I don't know anybody's skill level on Keynote. Oh, is he fussy bussy?
Yeah, sorry, guys.
Oh. So now let's get into concepts. So I like to have different concepts in the book because this really helps you freeze right now. So this book is not just about pictures. Like I said at the beginning, it's about a record. It's about a record of where you are right now. Who are you right now? It's like we don't realize how much we forget, how much we like, have you ever like woken up in the middle of the night and got an amazing, like life-changing idea and been like, I'll just remember it in the morning. I'm not going to write it down. And then you don't remember it in the morning, but you do remember that you had an amazing idea, but just can't remember the details of it. That's what this book is for. Like, you don't realize how much you forget and how much like one small detail can break open a whole bunch of memories and take you back to that moment. And that's what I want this to be. So I include an annual record, which highlights the births of that year, the marriages of that year, and the deaths of that year. God bless, we didn't have any deaths last year in my family. And then I also like to do a price record. So that just lets you know where we're at right now. I mean, how many times have folks seen, price records from like the 1910s and a house was a nickel? Like record that, because you don't realize how much stuff is changing even on a year-to-year basis. I added an eighth of weed in mine because when I first moved to New York, it's $50. So now it's changing. And just highlighting that. Same with favorites. Barbie movie was not my favorite. I just couldn't think of anything in the moment. But favorites, what are you obsessed with right now? And it doesn't have to be media based. It could be food. It could be a person. It could be a place you can't stop going to in your neighborhood, whatever that is. But I think the biggest thing I want you to think about here is like, who are you right now? What do you like to do? Because you don't realize how much those details and those small things are special. They are who you are at this age in this year, and that's going to change. So just making sure that you are taking stock of where you are and who you are right now. Okay, so let's get into content. So this, you guys have heard me say a million times throughout this, that it's not just pictures. So here's a bunch of content options that I like to add into my books to make sure that this is a place for posterity. This is a place to remember exactly where I am right now and who I am right now and what I was interested in. So obviously, in terms of content, you have your camera roll, you have your pictures. That's a no-brainer. But another thing I added into this year's is scans. So if I would be maybe go on vacation or have a little thing at the house, I would take stock of the physical things around me. So for the image that's in the scans, this was actually a vacation presentation I did with a couple friends, and we all presented different vacation spots we wanted to go to, then everyone voted on them. So I took those pieces of paper where everyone voted. I took the colored paper and then did a scan of that. And now this is a page in the new book. And it's really, you're taking down handwriting. You're taking down who was in the room. You're taking down what you were interested in. And that's what I think these scans do. And they've also encouraged me to be more present in the moment, to recognize what is special, what is physical around me that is a part of the moment just as much as we are. And then, taking stock of that and taking a scan of that. And I'll take a minute to go through our 2024 book that I have been building. So you can see how I integrated those into this one. Another one is quotes. So the quotes don't necessarily have to be from the year that you're working on, but if you found them that year, then they're from that year. So I found quotes from Instagram, from places online, from books I've read, and just, inserting them in because, again, it's what I was interested in that year and it's where I'm at. Stories are great, whether yours or friends, recounts from folks that you're spending time with, whoever, but having stories in there, including the details. Don't just brush over it. What was that person that you saw on the train that you thought was cute? What shirt were they wearing? How did your baby's laugh sound? Just add in those details because there's so much about life that we forget. Like, have you ever been hanging out with a friend and they'll be like, yo, do you remember this moment? You'd be like, no. And then they'll say like one tiny thing and it breaks open your brain and you're like, oh shit. And then suddenly you're in that moment. That's what I want this book to do. I want this book to like be that portal, I guess, to time travel and for you to go back to this place. Because in 10 years, you're not gonna remember your favorite coffee shop. You're not gonna remember like these details of when you bumped into that person in the street and they said something cute, and there's just too much life going on for you to remember those details, and those details are worth remembering. They're really special. um Another thing is recipes, whether you cook, whether your parents cook, maybe somebody you lost cooked and you have a recipe of theirs that you love. I have a bunch of bakers and chefs in my friend group, and I have tapped them for recipes because, why not? Like, let's, I wanted to diversify this book a bit more. So including the things that your friends are interested in, including, here there's write-ups. What write-ups did my friends do? What am I proud of? Text screenshots. That's probably the most candid version of people that you're going to get. So including those, who people are right now. Memes, if you're a big meme person and it resonated with you, add that in. Event flyers are a really big one because that's what you were doing, whether you're hosting them or whether you're going to them. What was that event that just was a moment for you? What was that event that like you're really proud you got off the ground? Whatever that is, like, yeah, put all of those things in there. So just making sure that you are capturing all those facets of life. But something that you could do for the book is a yearbook shoot. So this is something I think I'm going to do this year. So get in one of those marble backgrounds like we did K through 12, and doing a shoot with all my friends, having them all come over. And this is just an example. Maybe there's other stuff that you could do with your friends and your people. Maybe there's a family portrait you do every year that gets added into here. But whatever that is, these are just some content options. And if you guys think of other content options, let me know. I need to diversify my book too. So let me know. And excuse me, we can all kind of grow and learn and build this thing together. So moving on to inspiration. So a website I've been using basically my whole career is designspiration.com. This is basically a search engine if somebody from Williamsburg made it. Like it's the hipster of hipster search engines, but it's fabulous. So I use this for, and as it pertains to this yearbook, I use it for magazine layout and layout design. That's what I search when I go to designspiration.com. And now it looks like you have to sign up and make an account for it. You don't. Just use the search bar at the top and you'll be set, and you can just use it as is. But yeah, you don't have to search magazine layout or layout design. Search whatever works for you. But I just find those two, obviously a magazine, this is basically a magazine for your family. So that has been the most beneficial to me. But designspiration.com in general is a great resource to have. If you're looking for gorgeous imagery, if you're looking for inspiration, whatever that is. Another place that's dedicated to stock imagery is Unsplash. So unsplash.com. Like I said in the beginning, an easy way to make your pages look cool is to add backgrounds, and then you can overlay your pictures over them. But unsplash.com is a great place to get actual cool imagery, textured imagery, and just pictures that can add to the design. And really help you build out these pages, especially if you don't have a heavy design skill set. It could just help really make it look nice in an easy way. The other piece of inspiration is to steal. Uh, and obviously, like, this is said a bit with jest, but also like with the best intentions in mind. But to steal, like, you're not selling this book. There's no benefit to, or there's no, what's the opposite of a benefit? There's no harm. There's no harm to the person that you're stealing from, because you're not taking anything from, you're not taking their livelihood. You're just like borrowing from their design. So if there's an album cover you like, remake that album cover. If there's a magazine layout you like, remake that. If you see somebody did a really cool graphic design and you think that could work for your book, just remake it in Keynote or Photoshop, wherever you design stuff. Just remake it. Because like this is for you. How many times have people like remade an outfit that they like and like sewn it up and designed it? Like, this is for you. So I encourage stealing. Wow, I got through that content a lot quicker than I thought I was going to. Um, but like I said, there is a template guide available that just really makes this easy and kickstarts it. I think there's 10 pages of the left and right margins and then 9 pages of templates. So whoever has an interest in that, I'll link to it. But before we get to the Q&A, I want to show you guys the book for this year. Oh my God, I'm sharing the cover so soon.
I've never seen this,
No, you're lying.
not like this. Wow.
So, as I've been saying, these are what your spreads are going to look like. This is the record. And then let me see if I can find, again, these are our family pictures, so please forgive anything you see. So for this page, I want to focus on the mixed media aspect. Are you okay? Okay. I want to focus on the mixed media aspect of it, because there is a fun way to add in different types of media and make the page more than just pictures. So up here, we have a scan of a sonogram. We have scans of these little, the receipts you get from Amazon. We have some camera roll pictures. We have some graphics from Google of these smiley faces. And then I have a screenshot of a text from a friend. So adding in all these different mixed media and all these different pieces just makes this page really special. It hones in on where we are. It hones in on who was loving on us. And I'm sorry if it's loud. The door just went and the dogs are going crazy. And where we were at, emotions. It just captures all of that. And I think that's the best part of this book, is capturing that moment in such an honest way. Let me try find a scan. Okay, so here's a scan. This is a scan from when we went to England. So this is this blue card is our key card from our hotel. These are some pictures from a picture booth. And then that paper is a bunch of gay clubs that the woman who worked at the front desk suggested to us. So the scans can really just be that simple. And I would have forgot all of these, like, the glory, I would have forgot these things. And this just allows you to actually remember. A friend does a summer camp every year, so there's her flyer. Um, oh, the Notes app. The Notes app is another good place to get content. So this was a spades game that was thrilling. If you know how to play spades and you see these scores, you see that this was a thrilling game. But in terms of templates, like I said, so you have this template here with the red color tones. Then I just use that thing again and just put green color tones. So it's all about making it your own. And things like that. Crystal was in Allure magazine last year, so we added those pictures, just looking stunning. Um, Here's another scan. But yeah, so it's just like adding in content, making it look special. But also if you want it to just be a picture on a page, it could just be a picture on a page. So whatever works for you at the end of the day. Thank you all. I won't take up any more of your time. Hit me up with any questions. My DMs are open if you have any follow-ups. I'll send the presentation today and I'll find a way to send everybody the course next week once I figure this out. And then Godspeed. I hope you do it. It's worth it. I promise you. It is work, but it's fun and you get to go through your year and remember some stuff and it's special. Life is really special and it deserves to be remembered. That's all I got. Bye.